I think our most important job as a real estate agent is to our clients and to get them the biggest savings or the most amount of money in their pocket, depending on what type of client you have. At the end of the day, it's not about our goal and our commission, but about getting our clients not just what they want, but exceeding what they want. At least that's what we need to do to stay in business. A huge part of that is our ability to negotiate with and for our clients. I've been reading a lot of books and watching a lot of mentors on YouTube and throughout the internet on negotiating, and I've got some time to put some of these strategies in place in the last few months. And I want to share with you some of the best tips in negotiating for your clients, whether they're buyers or sellers. I'm going to give you both. And first, we'll start with tips when representing a buyer. Okay. So the one thing is you should fish for info from the listing agent. Some agents are notorious for revealing way more than they should before an offer is provided. I recommend you call the listing agent before you submit an offer and ask these questions. 1, are there any other offers on the table or serious interest from other parties? This will tell you if you need to be aggressive and quick with an offer or safe to take your time. Another tip is to find out, can the seller accommodate a quick closing? Regardless of when your buyer wants to close, ask this question. The listing agent will probably tell you if they already have a house, need to find one, etc. You can use this information to your advantage by accommodating their closing as part of your negotiation. Another thing is you can find out if they have received any offers that the seller's already rejected. I don't want to waste anyone's time. Several times a listing agent will go right into past offers that have been received and give you valuable information to help you craft an offer and let you know, and not waste your time and let you know where to start. Finally, get to the seller's bottom dollar before you get to the buyer's top dollar. The goal in any of my negotiations is to get the seller to give me their bottom dollar price and let my buyer clients decide whether they're willing to accept it. Therefore, I have no problem submitting a low offer and encouraging the listing agent to provide a counter. Another thing is to offer higher and counter less. Some buyers love to start with a really lowball offer that insults the seller and kills the deal immediately. I find that negotiations work out a lot better when the buyer offers at a higher price but moves less during each. So here are some tips when representing the seller. Number 1, create a sense of urgency. When I get a call from an interested buyer's agent asking if there is other interest, it's important that you give a response that will give a buyer a reason to act quickly with an offer, but not scare them away with fear of competition. Here's a strategy that I picked up in accomplishing. First, state that there is serious interest even if there isn't. Don't ever tell a buyer's agent there is no interest in the property. It will give the agent or the buyers the impression that no one else thinks your listing is worth it and that you haven't gotten any serious offers, and it's going to give them an opportunity to try to lowball you. Second, reveal that another buyer is interested with a few key details to make your story believable. Some would call this a little white lie, okay? So I call it negotiation. My favorite line is, there's a young couple coming through with their parents for a second look. This implies that the buyers like it and are simply seeking another approval before submitting an offer. Third, provide a deadline. If the agent calls on Tuesday, I'll add that this second showing is taking place on Thursday. This gives the current buyer 48 hours to submit a strong offer and have it accepted before risking going into multiples and having a bidding war. Get to the buyer's top dollar before you get to your seller's bottom dollar. Okay, as indicated before, if the initial offer is low, counter small amounts to try and see how much the buyer will come up before indicating that what they are offering is their highest and their best offer. Provide a concession-free counter option. Today's offers are loaded with closing costs, home warranties, title insurance premiums, etc. It's common that a seller may come off $10,000 just by agreeing to the concessions. However, a buyer may only focus on the purchase price. I want the buyer to truly understand how much my seller is conceding, so I typically respond with 2 counters. For example, option 1 would be, for example, $250,000 sales price. A seller agrees to pay $5,000 towards closing costs, $1,000 towards a home warranty, and $2,000 towards title insurance. And option 2 would be a $242,000 sales price with no concession. Some general tips: butter up the agent. If you can build rapport with an agent, they'll be more inclined to feel like you two are working together rather than facing off against one another. The other agent is more likely to show their hand and reveal details about what it'll take to come to terms on an offer. Number 2 is 2 counters and a final. Negotiations can't go on forever, and I found that between the opening offer and final agreed upon price, there are generally 2 counters from both parties. For example, as a buyer, if your opening offer is for $250,000 and you don't want to pay above $260,000, I would recommend countering at $255,000, then $258,000, then stay firm at $260,000. Each counter gets small, but still shows that you're willing to move before you hit the firm number. Get the other party to sign off on the final terms first. This is super important. The last thing you want is to give the final say to the opposing agent, because who knows if they'll sit on your signed terms for 24 hours or use it to shop around for a better offer. By requesting that the other party signs off on the terms first, it gives your client the final say in the matter. As you can see, there truly is an art to negotiating in real estate transactions. I haven't completely mastered it, and I don't remember all of these when I'm in the process, but I try to, and in some of them I implement every time. And I've never gone more than 2 rounds in negotiating so far. Please note, however, that there is a fine line between negotiating and being a jerk, a liar, or a scumbag. Don't mislead people to the point where you cost an agent commission or pull the rug out from under a buyer, or destroy a deal altogether. Your reputation is more important than your commission, and you're going to have to deal with these agents again in the future.